Dear students, in the previous class I have discussed about portfolio management. In this lecture I am going to discuss about revenue management. So, the agenda for this lecture is introduction to revenue management. I will explain basic concepts about revenue management, where it is used, what are the prerequisites for applying revenue management. Then I will take one problem, then I will formulate linear programming problem for revenue management, then I will solve it. Selling decisions. How can a firm segment buyers by providing different conditions and terms of trade that profitably exploit their different buying behavior and or willingness to pay? The company may make their revenue by exploiting their buying behavior and willingness to pay. I am going to introduce this term cannibalization because there is a connection with the cannibalization and revenue management with the problem which I have taken. So, the meaning of cannibalization is the reduction of sales of a company's own products as a consequence of its introduction of another similar products. For example, the left hand side you can see the Maruti Alto. Before that there was a Maruti 800. When Maruti Alto was introduced, that the production of Maruti 800 was stopped. This is an example of cannibalization. So, if you want to make a selling decisions, so the important question should be answered is how can a firm design products to prevent cannibalization across segments and channels. The right side of the picture says there are different way we can prevent cannibalization or we can modify the demand. Okay. For example, timing, giving the product some, even nowadays say that e-commerce portals, people are willing to pay for longer time, there is a lesser charge. If you want an immediate delivery, there is a more charge. And the distribution system, type of brand, type of products, consumer behavior and product category and communications. These are factors impacting cannibalization risk. Once it segments the customers, what price should it charge on each segment? Okay. One way to make more sale is by modifying the demand. How can we modify the demand? Different customers are willing to buy, different customers are having different buying behaviors. So, we can segment the customers. Once the segment is done, then what prices has to be fixed for them? That is an important selling decisions. One possibility, if the firm sells in different channels, should it use the same price in each channel? Okay. The company may sell the product to different channels via online, via offline. Is it good to have the same price for different channels, or we want to price different prices for different channels? How should the prices be adjusted over time based on seasonal factors and the observed demand to date for each product? For example, some products, seasonal products, during the seasonal products, for example, say RD sales, seasonal products, the products are sold at discount. Maybe big hotels, there may be a season and off seasons. In off seasons, the hotels rooms are sold out at lesser prices when compared to seasons, because what they are doing that they are modifying the price. If your product is in short supply, to which segment and channels should it allocate the products? This example, when there was a COVID was peak, there was a short supply of gloves and mask. Okay. So, what will happen that the people are started to sell at higher prices. So, what is new about this revenue management? Okay. So, the revenue management is not the demand management decision themselves, but rather how these decisions are made. The true innovation of revenue management lies in the method of decision making. Okay. The concept of the concept of this revenue management is not something new, but now it has got very much importance because the quality of the decision making process has improved because of technologically sophisticated, detailed and intentionally operational approach to making demand management decision. Now, with the help of technology, where we are able to collect, where we are able to capture exact demand of the customers. So, because of this sophisticated technology, we are able to manage, we are able to do the revenue management little easier than the olden times. Now, the concept of artificial intelligence, machine learning, these kind of techniques are used in revenue management. Okay. So, these are helping, it is possible to manage demand on a scale and complexity. Even at large scale problems easily can be solved with the help of AI and machine learning, possible to improve quality of demand management decisions. Because of these new tools, because of availability of computing technologies, so the demand management decisions can be improved. When we say the demand, there are different dimensions for the demand. 3 dimensions normally we can say the product, the different products itself, the product itself will have its own demand, but the same product at different time it will have different demand. For example, during say hotels, the demand is same, but during the season times the demand is more, during the off season the demand is less. So, the second dimension of this demand is time. The third dimension we can say the type of customers it serves, their preferences for products and their purchase behaviors and so on. Maybe in Indian Railway we can see there are Tatkal ticket is there, there is a regular ticket is there. Some people are willing to book on Tatkal tickets, those who are planning at short period of time, that people are willing to pay at higher prices. So, the customer behavior. Okay. So, there are 3 dimensions of the demand, one is the product itself, second one is the time, the third one type of customers. So, we can manage the demand by using these 3. This is the conceptual view of firm's demand landscape. You see the different customers, okay, the time and the product. Okay. So, maybe one time purchasers, regular purchasers, time those are willing to wait, those are not willing to wait. So, we can manage the demand by using these 3 dimensions. Okay. But this demand management decisions has a strong linkage with operations and other business domains. Multiple products may share production capacity or have joint production cost. Customer may choose among substitutes products at any given point in time, or customers may strategize over their timing in purchasing a given product. So, demand decision for different products, customers and time periods may also be linked in terms of information the firm gains. Okay. The most important point is what kind of informations. Nowadays, because of the social media and other network sites, collecting a customer's information becomes so easy and managing the demand also becomes so easy, and once we are managing the demand, it has strong linkages with other domains of the business. What are the business conditions conducive for revenue management? The first point is this customer heterogeneity. The same product valued differently by different people. Say the Tatkal tickets, people are willing to pay at higher prices. Okay. That is one important requirement. Second requirement is demand variability and uncertainty. Obviously, the variability of demand is high and it is uncertain, very difficult to predict. That time you can use the concept of revenue management. See airline tickets, demand variability is very high. Production inflexibility. Obviously, every production capacity is fixed. So, the production whenever there is the production is not flexible, it is inflexible. Only way to manage the demand is by changing the price or the way we deliver the product, that is by changing the time. That is another requirement. The next requirement is price as a signal of quality. So, people are paying more price, they expect higher services. So, there should be a direct connection between price and sign of quality. It is not necessary higher price means higher quality, but here the customers having the perceptions that higher price in the sense they will be getting high quality service. That is another requirement for revenue management. And another thing is data and information system infrastructure. We should have a very strong data and information system infrastructure because that is the core of the revenue management data. Then the management culture. Some management they may against charging different prices for for same service. Okay. So, the management support and culture also important for revenue management. Now, we will see the overview of revenue management system. Okay. The right hand side I brought the picture. The first one is the data collection, where we can collect, see that there is a data collection where we can collect the data customer purchase history, say assume an example of airline ticket price, airline ticket, customer purchase history, product information and pricing informations. Okay. This is the three sources where we can collect the data. So, collect and store relevant historical data. Okay. The second stage is estimation and forecasting. Here estimate the parameters of demand model, forecast demand based on these parameters. Okay. And then forecast other relevant quantities like no show and cancellation rates based on transaction data. So, this is the second component after collecting the data is forecasting of a revenue management system. The next one is optimization. What we are discussing is in the optimization part, finding the optimal set of controls, right, like allocations, allocation of seats, fixing the prices, markdown, reducing the prices, giving the discounts, overbooking limits. So, to apply until the next re-optimization. Okay. The core we can say the core of revenue management system is optimization. Okay. This portions, see this is optimization. The last one is the control the sale of inventory using optimized control. Okay. This is done either through firm's own transaction processing system or through shared distribution systems. The easiest way to manage the demand is just by changing the pricing. So, the idea of using pricing as an important lever to increase supply chain profits by better matching supply and demand, especially when there are multiple customers types willing to pay different prices. Okay. There are different type of people, they are willing to pay at different prices based on attributes such as response time of an asset. For example, people are willing to, we are spending by speed post and ordinary post, because speed post in the sense people they do not want to wait. Okay. The document has to be sent to very short period of time, that time people prefer speed post by paying more price. Okay. So, we can send it by ordinary post also, people are willing to wait. So, that way the easiest way to manage the demand is pricing, that is what we are going to do. Now, I have taken one sample problem for revenue management that I am going to formulate with the help of by using linear programming problem, then I am going to solve and interpret it. This problem is taken from Anderson et al. Okay. So, the development of revenue management system can be expensive and time consuming, but potential payoff may be substantial. The revenue management system which I am discussing in the previous class, in the previous slides, it is a very complicated system and very expensive and very time consuming for taking decisions. But we are going to use LP model to get some informed decisions. Okay. For instance, the revenue management system used at American Airlines generates nearly $1 billion in annual incremental revenue. To illustrate the fundamentals of revenue management, we will use a linear programming model to develop revenue management plan for leisure air. That is the airline which was the book, the example which is given in the book Anderson et al. A regional airline that provides service for Pittsburgh, Newark, Charlotte, Myrtle Beach and Orlando. So, there is a Pittsburgh, this one, Newark, okay. This is origination and the origin, destination is Orlando, Myrtle Beach via Charlotte. Now, I will discuss about the problem context. So, leisure air has two Boeing 737-400 airplanes, one based in Pittsburgh here, another one is Newark. Both airplanes have a coach section with 132 seat capacity. Okay. This capacity is 132 seats. Each morning the Pittsburgh based plane flies to Orlando with a stopover in Charlotte. So, this coming by this way, and the Newark based planes flies to Myrtle Beach also with a stopover at Charlotte. So, this flight is coming by this way, there is a stopover. At the end of the day, both planes return to their home bases, it is going back. To keep the size of the problem reasonable, we restrict our attention to Pittsburgh Charlotte, this leg, and Charlotte Orlando, this leg, then Charlotte Myrtle Beach, this leg, and Newark Charlotte, this leg. So, we are considering only 4 legs. Okay. So, we are not considering the returning of these 2 flights, we are considering only one way. Oh, the flight starts here, it goes to Orlando via Charlotte. This flight starts here, it goes to Myrtle Beach via Charlotte. There is a stopping also here. Leisure air uses 2 fare classes. They have 2 kind of tickets. One is Q type tickets, another one is Y type ticket, Q class and Y class. Reservations using discount fare Q class must be made 14 days in advance and must include Saturday night stay in the destination city. Reservation using full fare Y class may be made any time with no penalty for changing reservation at a later date. To determine the itinerary and the fare alternative that leisure air can offer its customers, we must consider not only origin and the destination of each flight, but also the fare class, because there are 2 fare classes there, one is Q class and Y class. Okay. So, here you can see origin P, destination C, Q class. So, the variable which I am going to consider is PCQ. Okay. The fare is $178, the forecasted demand is 33. Okay. You see that this is a PC Y, this is Y class ticket, but here the fare is $380, forecasted demand is 16. So, for each leg there are 2 possibilities, one is Q class ticket, another one is Y class ticket. For instance, the possible products include Pittsburgh to Charlotte using Q class, New York to Orlando using Q class, Charlotte to Myrtle Beach using Y class, and so on, because in every leg there are two possible products, one is a Q class and another one is a Y class. So, each product is referred to as an origin-destination-itinerary fare, ODIF. This is an important terminology. For May 5, Leisure Air established fares and developed forecast for customers' demand for each 16 ODIFs. Okay. So, we have see 1 to 16. Okay. This data is given in this table. Suppose that April 4, a customer calls the Leisure Air reservation office and requests a Q class seat on May 5, flight from Pittsburgh to Myrtle Beach. So, the variable which you used is PM. So, here PM. Okay. Now, PM there are two kind of ticket is available, PMQ is there, similarly PMY is there. The fare is for PMQ 268, PMY is 456. The difficulty in making this decision is that should Leisure Air accept the reservation? The difficulty in making this decision is that even though Leisure Air may have seats available, the company may not want to accept this reservation at the Q class fare 268, I am saying this 268, especially if it is possible to sell the same reservation later at Y class fare for 456, right. So, if there is a possibility to sell at Y class, okay, they do not want to go for any additional tickets. Thus, determining how many Q and Y class seats to make available are important decisions that the Leisure Air must make in order to operate its reservation system. So, that is what we are going to suggest, how many Q and Y class seats has to be make available. The next stage is formulating the decision variables. Okay. So, PC, this is a one leg PC, then PM, suppose a flight starts from here, somebody can book PC and PM and PO. Okay. There are three types, in each case there are Q type ticket, Y type ticket. So, there are 6 decision variables here. Similarly, when the flight starts from origin N, New York, okay, there is a NC, NO, NM, NC, NO, NM. There are two categories, Q class, Y class. So, there will be another 6 variables. Not only that, somebody can book the ticket from CO and CM. Okay. So, there are two categories, Q and Y. So, another 4 decision variables. Now, this represents PCQ, PMQ, POQ, like this there will be a 16 decision variables. The fare is given and the forecasted demand also given. So, what we have to suggest, how many seats has to be allocated, okay, on each legs, so that our product is, so that our profit is maximized. So, when I say PCQ, number of seats allocated to P to C in the Q class, okay. PMQ, number of seats allocated to PM to Q class. If we put Y, it is Y class. Like this, we have to write all the decision variables. So, the objective function is, right, this is the ticket fare, the PCQ ticket fare is 178, PMQ ticket fare is 268. Like this, for all 16 decision variables, there will be a, all the 16 decision variables will form the objective function. So, the objective function is that has to be maximized. Now, we will go for writing constraint. So, suppose a flight start, this is called origin constraint. So, what are the different way, right? So, wherever the different way to start from P. So, somebody may book the ticket PC, okay. So, there is a two way PCQ, PCY. Somebody may book ticket PM, so PMQ, PMY. Somebody may book ticket PO, so POQ, POY, but that cannot exceed 132 because the seat capacity is 132. Similarly, with the another flight it starts from Newark, so different possibilities, for example NC. So, NC, NCY, NCQ, then NO, in NO there will be NOQ, NOY, then NM, NMQ, NMY. So, if these seats, when we add these number of seats, that also should not exceed 132. Now, I am going to write another two type of constraint that is called destination constraint. So, what are the different way to reach this destination O? So, I can come from CO, I can come from ON, I can come from PO. So, when I say CO, there are two tickets COQ, COY. So, PO, there are two tickets POQ, POY. Then somebody may book ticket N to O, okay. So, NOQ, NOY, okay. Here you should remember, even though this flight goes NC, this route NCM, he can get down at point C, he can get another flight. That is the meaning of somebody booking directly N to O, because this flight will not go to O, but he can get down here, then he can get this flights which is coming from P to reach the O, okay. That is why the NO is possible. Similarly, for this destination M, okay. So, CM, there are two type of ticket CMY, CMQ. Then PM is possible, so PMQ, PMY. Then NM also possible, NMQ, NMY. You see that somebody starting from P, if he want to reach M, he cannot go the same flight, he has to get down here at C, then he has to get into another flight which is coming via N, from N, okay. So, this is the destination constraint, that should not exceed 132. Now, I have written all the constraints, all 4 constraints. Apart from this, there are another constraint, that is the demand constraint, okay, because minimum. So, PC Q ticket demand is 33, that has to be fulfilled. So, here I have written my objective function, here I have written my constraint, here I have written my demand constraint. So, this one I am going to solve using solver. Now, I have formulated a linear programming problem for the revenue management that I am going to solve with the help of Excel. So, I have entered the value of decision variables, coefficient of the objective function, then I have written the constraints, I have written the right hand sides. Now, I am going to solve this one. So, go to data, then solver. Now, you see the objective function value is the T4, this has to be maximized. The changing variable cell is B5 to Q5. So, here all the constraints are less than or equal to type, then I am going to solve it. Now, I have got the value of objective function in T4, that is 1,03,188, and I have got the value for each decision variables. So, for example, PCQ, okay. So, in that leg ticket So, Q class ticket I have to allocate 33 seats, PMQ I have to allocate 45 seats. Okay. So, this is the output for the revenue management problem. Now, I am going to interpret the shadow price of this problem. I have brought the output into the presentations. I will explain with the help of the screenshot which I have taken from this Excel output. Here I have the value of my decision variables and here I have the value of my objective function. Okay. Now, we will interpret. So, over time the reservation will come into the system and the number of remaining seats available for each ODIF will decrease. For example, the optimal solution allocated is 44 Q class seats between Pittsburgh and Myrtle Beach. Suppose that 2 weeks prior to the departure date on May 5, all 44 seats have been sold. Now, suppose that new customer calls the leisure air reservation office and requests a Q class seats for the Pittsburgh Myrtle Beach flight. Should leisure air accept the new reservation even though it exceeds the original 44 seat allocations? So, in that leg the demand was 44, all the seats are allocated. Now, there is a new customer asking one more seat ticket on the, that is more than the demand. So, whether we have to accept this new reservation or not. So, this answer we are going to interpret with the help of interpreting the dual value. So, the dual value for the Pittsburgh Myrtle Beach Q class demand constraint will provide information that will help the leisure air reservation agent make this decision. Now, you see, the dual value tells reservation agents the additional revenue allocated, additional revenue associated with overbooking each ODIF. So, the constraint 6 we know PMQ type is 44. So, the constraint PMQ less than or equal to 44 restrict the number of Q class seats that can be allocated to Pittsburgh Myrtle Beach to 44 seats. In figure we see that the dual value for this constraint is 85 here, 44 seats are allocated, the shadow price is 85. So, the dual value tells us that if one more Q class seat were available from Pittsburgh to Myrtle Beach, the revenue would increase by $85. So, this increase in revenue is referred to as the bid price for this ODIF. Okay. So, in general the bid price for an ODIF tells leisure air reservation agent the value of one additional reservation once a particular ODIF is filled. So, this 85 says that if you are selling in that category one more ticket, your revenue will increase by $85. Now, we look at the other shadow price, then we will interpret. By looking at the dual value for demand constraint figure, we see that the highest dual value is 376. Where is that 376? Here. The number of seat allocated is 16. Okay. So, this constraint corresponds to Pittsburgh Charlotte Y class itinerary. Thus, if all 16 seats are allocated to this itinerary, so accepting another reservation will provide an additional revenue of $376. So, given this revenue contribution, the reservation agent would most likely accept the additional reservation even if it resulted in overbooking of the flight, even though there is a overbooking, right. So, that will give you the revenue of additional revenue of $376. So, other dual value for the demand constraint shows value of 358, for example, here 358 for constraint 20 and the value of 332 for the constraint 10. So, thus accepting additional reservations for the Charlotte Orlando Y class and the Pittsburgh Orlando Y class itinerary is a good choice for increasing the revenue. So, what we are interpreting from the shadow price, in that category of the tickets, even though the demand is fulfilled, when you go for overbooking, you will get that much additional revenue which is equivalent to your shadow price. But here what we have to do, every time we have to update and resolve our this LP model which we have proposed. Okay. With a revenue management system like the one at Leisure Air must be flexible and adjust to ever changing reservation status. Conceptually, each time a reservation is accepted for an ODIF, that is at its capacity, the LP model should be updated and resolved to obtain a new allocations along with revised bid price informations. Okay. So, in practice, updating the allocations on real time basis is not practical because of the large number of itineraries involved. However, the bid prices for the current solution and some simple decision rules enable reservation agents to make the decisions that improve the revenue for the firm. Then on a periodic basis, such as once a day or once a week, the entire LP model can be updated and resolved to generate new seat allocations and revised bid price informations. So, in this lecture, what we have studied, I have introduced the concept of revenue management and different requirements. Then I have explained need for revenue management. After that, I have taken one revenue management problem. That problem I have formulated in the form of linear programming problem. Then I have solved the using solver. Then I have interpreted the dual value. So, the dual value is giving a important information, that is, if an additional ticket is sold, how much more revenue we can get it. So, that way this LP model is very useful for solving revenue management problems. Thank you.